Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom, the official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
And I'm Donald.
And we're back to discuss Halo Season 1, Episode 2, Unbound. Yay! So you watched this episode before I did, and and you did it to be petty. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that? Do you remember?
Yeah, because I think you watched something without me.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Because you're a child. So, what was I going to say? Oh, so I was like, was it good? And you were like, it was different. And I was like, oh, man. So, I don't know. I was expecting to not like it. But I did like it. But I see what you mean about it being different.
It was toned down. So it wasn't...
Yeah.
Like, first episode, I felt like it was very action-packed, very fast.
Yeah.
Very much like the game. The second episode was very, like not a lot happened.
It was a cutscene.
Right. And I was like, this is like... I was just... It was different. It was a slower pace than the first episode. Right. So I wasn't... It kept losing my attention.
Really? See, I was going to say, yes, I agree that it was that, but I was actually interested in the world building that was going on and kind of understanding more about what it means to be a Spartan, you know, and like the training and how long he's been one. So I don't know. I liked it. You know what though? I will say I don't remember if we said this last week, but I don't believe that Cortana, like the actual clone that's in that machine or whatever, is the same actress as Dr. Halsey. I think some people thought that. And I don't remember if that came up on the podcast or not last time. But what I didn't know, and so in saying, well, I just remember saying, like, I don't think it's her. But what I didn't know, or I guess maybe I knew and forgotten from playing the game, is that Cortana is based on her.
Right.
That character. Like Dr.
Yeah, if
Halsey.
you look at it is a different actress, but if you look at them, they look very close.
They look close. They do look. And so I think that's it. And I think, like, maybe watching people react to the first episode, a lot of people thought that it was her. That it was, you know, just like her with no hair. So what I'm guessing is because she is, you know, basically based off of her, and I guess eventually becomes like her consciousness, or however it works in the game. I guess it makes sense that they look alike. But that said, I do not like Dr. Halsey. Like, she's like science-minded, which great, yay for science. But like some of it feels a little like she has like a god complex. Yes. The way she talks about the Spartans and like they're the next.
Anytime you create something evolution. Like that, you would assume that person's going to have a god complex.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if she was science-minded, she wouldn't mind this other girl, the Miranda Keyes girl. She's the one that's been in charge of all
her daughter.
Yeah, she's been in charge of all the Covenant artifacts and studying all that type of stuff. But she's like, no, she's not touching
because this is connected to the Spartan, Spartan, John in particular. She's not going to let her near it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I don't like her. But I did like the episode. So did you just not like it?
I think the stuff with Soren and that whole stuff, I still don't exactly know what happened in that planet because I just kept losing interest in that whole area, that whole thing with Bokeem Woodbine.
Right.
And just like, I guess really what I just got was that, okay, he left the girl there under his protection and then turned herself in. Yeah. That's basically what happened in the episode. But I will say that the casting of the young Bokeem Woodbine was fantastic. Like, that kid looks like Bokeem Woodbine. They had the gap and everything.
And the voice and everything, yeah. It's to the point where the guy who is the younger
Master Chief.
Pablo Schreiber? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Schreiber.
Teenage John.
The way he spoke though, like it felt like it was Pablo's voice, and that made it kind of creepy. Like, because either he did too well of an impression of Pablo Schreiber's voice, or they used Pablo Schreiber's voice, and either way, it felt creepy. Whereas, what the guy playing a younger Bokeem Woodbine with his voice, it didn't sound. It sounded like Bokeem Woodbine's voice, like how you would imagine it would sound when he was younger. Does that make sense? Like, it sounds like the same type of voice. Whereas the other, it felt like it was the same fucking voice. And I just didn't buy it. It was just, it made it creepy. I don't know. But,
and I'm curious to see, because it seems like John's got some kind of connection with this Mackie girl that's with the Covenant.
Yeah,
the way that they're talking is like they're very similar.
At the very least, they're both connected to something. Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know if we're to believe that they're connected to each other or that they're both connected to something else, thus making them connected to each other. Does that make sense?
Right.
All right, so you ready to talk about it?
Yep.
Oh, I want to say really quickly, I do think that, hold on a second, he looks like, without my glasses on, that looks like young Grisha from the episode where we find out what he did with his little sister. That's why I was like, who's this Grisha looking nigga on my screen? Okay, sorry about that. I do want to say, though, that this episode, like, when you said that it was different, as I was watching it, I could feel, I knew what you meant. I thought that was Korean on the wall. I knew what you meant, but it did make me excited for the future because we know that this show already has a second season.
Right.
So I like that they're doing this. I like that they're building something, and then I know that they're going to have time to like continue to build it, you know? Like you don't have to worry that it's going to get canceled and we're never going to know, you know. So anyway, all right. So 22 years ago, first of all, how fucking old is he supposed to be?
It says teenager on IMDb, so they're supposed to be teenagers.
Okay, but so about how old would you? So 15?
A little older than that. I would go maybe 16, 17.
Okay. Do you think they look 16, 17?
They looked in their 20s, but yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so 22 years ago, John snitched.
Well, actually, I mean, if you look at... Okay, so I'm looking at the kid that played John. He was born in 2003.
When? Oh, Jesus. That was like yesterday.
So I'm trying to think that would be...
19 years ago.
Yeah, so he's 19. So, all right. He wasn't in his 20s.
Okay, so they were 19. So, now they're, what? 41? No, wait. Look at me. I can't do math. Yeah, 41. Right? Yes. 41. So, okay. I buy that. But anyway, John snitched because Soren, his friend, was leaving. Yep. He figured... Okay, I still don't know, and maybe this is bad on me because I feel like the opening, if I'm not mistaken, is the opening credits showing you how he gets the suit on? Or is it showing you... Because I'm still not sure what was done to their bodies, that they have those scars.
I don't either, and that's, like... I don't either. And for them to...
Because I'm like, when they put the suit, like, they definitely... I mean, there's something very invasive, like their, what they call it, their biometrics or whatever. Right. Like, they have, and by they, I mean... Dr. Halsey and them, the UNSC or whatever, they have a ridiculous amount of like access to these Spartans. Like it's super invasive. So whatever, it feels like though 22 years ago, Soren figured out a way, like he disabled something and he was going to leave, and wanted John to come with him. But John not only wouldn't go, but only gave him a 5-minute head start before he snitched. I was like, Lord. And then in present day, John has a conversation with Kwan. I love this conversation because she asks like straight up, why did you save me?
Yeah.
And he was like, would you kill an innocent kid? And he was like, no. Why? And like, because they did nothing wrong. He was like, exactly. And so she just says, thank you. And he goes, you're welcome. And I just thought that was so like to the point and very simple, like right. I just did it because it was the right thing to do. Well, thank you. You're welcome. And that's it. We don't have to talk about it anymore, and they've already built like a level of trust. I just really like that scene.
And he would have absolutely killed her before he touched that artifact. That artifact did something.
Changed him. Yeah. So there was a scene, like, I don't think I wrote about it in my notes, but like Halsey meets with this pretty high-ranking military guy, right? Military official. And basically gets him on her side as, like, I have something that will, you guys are worried about Master Chief, like he went off script, we don't know where he is, blah, blah, blah. But I have something in the works that will fix that, that we'll be able to have complete control over the Spartans, blah, blah, blah. So she like plants this little bug in his ear so that when they're all meeting, he pushes, her, he opens the door for her to be able to talk about the Cortana program, even though, what's her name? Parangowski? Let me see.
Yeah, you're right.
Parangowski. Yeah.
Admiral.
Yeah, Admiral. Yeah, even though she was like, we can't do that. Yeah. So that was pretty fucked up.
I have a feeling that Halsey's going to end up killing Parangowski, or like, because I feel like nobody is like, she's not like, hasn't sided with her. Like, she's not behind the Spartan program from what I'm getting.
I don't know. Like, again, I'm not very familiar with the storyline. It's much more to just like playing the game. But I know that eventually, like, they're like Reach falls, right?
Yes.
And so I don't know how far in the past this is, like, how far in the future the fall is. But I wonder with them getting a second, I'm just curious to know like how far ahead this is of like the very first game, and if there will ever be any kind of like overlap. Because I have to say, when I've been watching these 2 episodes, anytime that they're on Reach, like there is a part of me that just keeps thinking about like from the games. I'm like, I'm pretty sure like in the games there's no more, and right. Like I don't remember, again, because I was not paying attention to the game story that much. I don't remember like what was supposed to have happened there.
Yeah, I mean, well, they mention in this episode that they mention Halo, that it's a weapon that people are looking for. So nobody.
Did they actually call it Halo, or did they say the ring?
The ring. Is
okay.
What they called it. And,
okay.
But that's
because you said that, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, but that's what they were referring to.
Okay.
And, that I guess this is what everybody's looking for, and that he calls it a weapon.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like the Death Star.
Right.
Because I thought he said something like it, Because wasn't like in Star Wars, that's what they call the Death Star, is like a planet killer or something. Mm-hmm. And here he said something like, I thought he said something like, I've seen it turn whole planets to ash or something like that. So anyway, so I don't remember all of their names, but the other 3 Spartans is Vanek, Kai. Is it Riz? Riz. Okay.
Vanek, Kai, and Riz.
So we see them. We didn't see them without their masks at all last week, right?
No.
Okay. So this week we do, and I don't remember who's who.
Vanek is the black guy.
Okay.
Kai is I'm guessing she had blonde hair. I don't know. It's a black and white photo on IMDb. And Riz is redhead.
Okay. Yes. I couldn't. I was like trying to remember what they all look like, and I just knew, okay, the black guy with the really deep voice, and I knew the other girl, the blonde hair. I could not remember what Riz looked like to save my life. Redhead. That's right. So they have a conversation about like everything that's going on and the fact that Master Chief is missing, and they basically decide that they're gonna follow Halsey's orders and trust in Master Chief. So, which is pretty basically how they were last week. You know, like they're just gonna do whatever she tells them to do. So, after going through like a asteroid field or like some space debris, I don't know, Master Chief and Quan end up in this free society, which as far as I
looked like they were in the asteroid, like this.
Yeah, they were like living
in the asteroid.
Yes.
Yeah.
An asteroid field. And the only thing I have in my notes, like I don't remember if anybody referred to this as anything other than this, but when we meet Soren, who's number 666, 66 066, not 666. I can't read my own handwriting. When we meet him, played by Bokeem Woodbine, he calls it the rubble. And it's basically a free society, which I kind of want to know more how this works. Like, see, I found this all really interesting because I was like, okay, but what do we mean by like free? Like, is it just like, are you guys bartering? Is everything, do you know what I mean? Like bartering and trading to get by? Because it's massive. Like we said, they were living in like asteroids, but like, I don't know that I can do the scale justice in describing like how big. It kind of reminded me a bit of like Zion in The Matrix, or even like, do you remember in, was it supposed to be New York in The Fifth Element? The way they drove like the cars and like flew the cars, and or you know what I mean, and like do you remember like he could open his window and like that's how like mail got delivered because they had like the flying cars.
I don't remember if it was supposed to be a city or not. I thought it was just another planet. I didn't know it was supposed to be New York or anything.
So either way, it kind of like reminds me of that. It's like huge. And and then they take like this
that tram, it shoots it out.
What the fuck was that?
It just starts floating, and then all of a sudden it just hits the wire, and then like goes like a tram.
Like why? Why is that so dangerous? What? Like how many? Like I have questions. Like I found this so fascinating. I was like, I want to know.
How is OSHA approved?
Yes. Like I understand that you guys, you're not big on regulations and rules and stuff. But who maintains this shit? Like, is everybody just taking their lives in their hands every time? Like, and like, he took that to go home, right? Like, he took them on that ride, and all they went was to his house. Right. So I'm like, how often do you have to do
every day?
Yeah,
going to work.
So we meet his family. His son's name is Kessler, and I would say Kessler's about 10, maybe a little bit younger than that. And Liara, his wife. And we find out here that there is a bounty on Quan's head, and she assumes it's from the UNSC. And he's like, oh, no, it's Vishnar. So if you remember from last week, there was someone on TV and his name was Vishnar, and it was played by the guy that was in Torchwood.
Yes.
We've seen him in other stuff. I can't think of his name right now, but he was on TV, and he was talking about how optimistic he was about these peace talks between Madrigal, the planet that they're on that wants independence from Earth, and the UNSC representing, Earth. And so now, with her father dead, so basically
they put him in charge of her planet.
Yes. So I was like, God damn, her dad was in charge of a whole ass planet. Mm-hmm. Not just like wherever they were, like what kind of
they had a little right.
They were
right. They had a little station on the planet, but that was it. That was the only station on that planet.
So now he's in charge, and he put a bounty on her head, and I'm assuming it's basically because at this point he's clearly wanting to come to some sort of agreement with the UNSC. Whereas her father believed there was no agreement that did not include their independence. You get what I mean? So it sounds like he's probably willing to sacrifice their independence for something else as long as he's in charge, right?
Right.
Basically like having, like the United States does with, inserting leaders in other countries that they can control. So I'm assuming that this is the game here, right? And so then if you have the UNC telling him, oh, hey, she threatened to say that we did shit we didn't do. She's a terrorist, she doesn't, and he's like, well, she don't work for us anymore. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. So, yeah. So there's 2 bounties on her head. All right. So do you remember the Covenant and their kind of like their story, their like the hierarchy? Like, do you remember?
I do not know.
Okay, neither do I. So I was trying to pay special attention this episode. So High Charity again is their like headquarters or whatever, Covenant Command, and nobody knows where it is. And this is the thing that looks like the jellyfish. Is that what it looks like?
Jellyfish, hive, like a beehive.
Yeah. So we're back there, and that Maki, right? That's her name, right? Maki?
Yeah.
She is meeting with those 3 aliens that sit up on those thrones, and their names are Mercy, Truth, and Regret. And again, they also call her Blessed One. So that warrior who got away, I'm guessing he's one of the elites, right? That got away in the first episode?
Yes.
He is, remember, last week she was like, I need to talk to him. And this was so funny because she was like, show me what you saw, right? Because I guess he said, he touched it and it activated. And they were like, okay, what does that mean? So she was like, show me what you saw. So I thought he was going to do something where like he could project his memories like onto a screen or some shit. He literally just like drew a circle in the air and like pressed an imaginary button, and she was like, oh, I see. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, granted, he was speaking another language, but I was like, what did he really do differently other than tell you what he saw? Anyway, so she was like, I'm gonna go, right? She wants to go and try to meet with him, and they call him, based on what he can do, a keystone or something like that. He's another keystone. And it sounds like they knew that there were others. Like there's like a set number.
Right.
It's like just something about the way they phrased stuff in this conversation. And so she's basically like arguing with them because they're like, you belong here. And did you notice, like, I don't hear it when they do it, but did you hear the clicking in the language?
No.
When she speaks, you didn't hear. Go back and watch that scene. It's really interesting. I'm wondering, like, what, like, you know, like how Game of Thrones came up with Dothraki. Right. I'm so curious, like, what this is called, how this, like, played in the video game. Like, I don't remember if the game itself developed a language for these aliens.
I don't think they did. I think they developed it just for the show.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. I want to look that up. So yeah, in this meeting with kind of military bigwigs, Halsey pitches Cortana. And basically, like, the very kind of loose explanation as to what Cortana is that she's an artificial intelligence that has the knowledge of the entire universe. So I was like, so she's just a really smart AI? Because those never end well. Like, this sounds scary as shit.
Well, if you know the whole game history, then you know the truth.
Well, wait, what?
I said if you've played all the games and all the stories, then you'd know the truth.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't, so. Like, I feel like I'm missing... Am I missing something?
No, just Cortana is the key part of
the okay.
games
Okay, gotcha.
And what happens and stuff.
Okay, so... when somebody at the table pushes back, because she's like, oh yeah, you wrote like so and so many papers on this, but wasn't there like pushback because there wasn't like ethical testing or something? And she's like, yeah. She goes, did you find a way around that? And she's, before she can answer, the general guy that she was kind of talking up at the beginning of the episode steps in, and he's like, fine, we'll do it, but Parangowski's in charge and blah blah blah. And she's and tells Parangowski, like, do you support this? And I can't remember like what her answer was, but it was like one of those like carefully worded yeses. You know, like yes, but I don't know. Which, you know, could basically also be a no. But she basically gets her way. And then we see that Vishnar is basically executing people. I guess people who were loyal to Kwan's dad.
Yep.
And Kwan is talking with Liara, who is, again, Soren's wife. And we learn that Liara lost her whole family to the Covenant. Her whole planet. She lost her family and her entire planet to the Covenant. And Kwan says that she wants justice. And Liara warns that justice and revenge are often easily mistaken for the other. And then, so again, whatever they've done to the Spartans, it's like they don't have, like, I think how Soren talks about how, like, they've been dampened and numbed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, they can't taste certain things. So they've basically been, like, yeah, they've been
stripped of all emotions and feelings.
Right. To make them as, like, less human as they can, I suppose. So the Spartans, or the three Spartans, with Vanek and Riz and what's her name? Kai. They track Master Chief to a certain point, right? But I'm guessing the fact that he went into, like, this asteroid field. Like, I don't know, how could you ever live comfortably? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm assuming, the city is kind of hidden, right?
Yeah, but if you're an asteroid belt, you got to assume you're constantly moving within the universe because asteroids move. Like everything else in the planets and stuff usually stay within a, like, they have their own orbit. But asteroids, they just free flow through the fucking
I mean, they can't go like so far. Because how did he find them?
Oh, yeah, right.
So they can't be, like, constantly...
Right.
I'm not sure how that works. All I know is it's terrifying. And I don't know that I'd ever be able to, like, truly live and feel free if I'm living in a place that's hidden. That I'm basically only as free as, like, someone being able to stumble upon me. I don't know. Or maybe I have, like, what this is completely wrong. But that was the impression that I got. Miranda tries to sweet talk Parangowski, who's like, girl, you're like your mother, but with less polish. Go sit down. I've had a rough day. Your mother's already fucked me over this morning. I don't need you trying to as well. And then Soren suggests that John speaks to someone named Reth, who somehow was taken by the Covenant and spent time on one of their ships or something and got away. But, like, ever since, he ain't been right.
Right.
So, when they meet him, he's a hot mess, right? Clearly been through some shit. Is it me, or did he seem really interested in Quan? Like, when she walked in, he was like, who are you? What's your name? And then when she was like, Quan Ha, he was like, yes, you are. Like, I don't know. It just felt, I don't know if it was just him being weird or if it meant something, but it felt like it meant something. But if you didn't notice, then probably.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything. That would be weird because she doesn't seem
like special.
Not yet, at least.
So we learned from him that the Covenant religion is basically based on seeking out these artifacts, right? Mm-hmm. And
they're all Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones religion.
Yes, religion of archaeologists. And they believe that the Blessed One is special, and I'm assuming it's because she's a human that can do whatever it is that John can also do, but he doesn't know he knows how to do. And when he asks, like, I thought things were gonna go left in here because it felt like he almost liked and respected the Covenant a little too much. And apparently they were testing to see if he, I'm guessing, is like her, right? And he wasn't. So when he was like, are you going to help the Covenant, like, erase us all or whatever? And John was like, no. And he goes, good. He swung on him or something. Like, I wasn't sure what he was going to do, but John ends up activating that artifact, stopping him. Mm-hmm. And then that's when Reth is like, you are stronger than even the one they have. So he's apparently, whatever they are, John is more powerful than
Marky or whatever.
Yeah.
Mackie, yeah.
The Blessed One. I'm just gonna call her the Blessed One. And then that's when he tells him that they want the ring, which is some sort of weapon. And when John hears that, then he's like, I have to go back and help.
Yeah.
I have to tell the UNSC.
Halo.
So he leaves Quan with Soren. And he goes back. And he mentions to Halsey how he feels like he's connected to something. And it's like, as he's saying this, they're showing the Blessed One changing. Because again, she tells those aliens, like, I can blend in with them in a way that you never could. So I'm curious to see, like, what she's going to do and how she's going to do that. Because you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if who she is like somebody special with influence. Otherwise, like, how could she ever think to get close to Master Chief? I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm overthinking it. And then they're getting Cortana ready, right?
Yep.
I kind of wish I remembered more about the game, the storyline now. No, actually, I'm happy that I don't. Because
I don't know it to a T. I just, like, know little, like, basic things here and there.
Yeah, like, because I don't know anything. I don't know.
I don't even remember, like, the original Halo. Like, I'm trying to remember, like, how that started, because I think like, the original Halo game, you were trying to get to the ring, like, you were fighting through battles to get to it or something. But that's what I felt like it was. So
yeah, okay. So anyway, that's it, right? The episode ends with
Yeah, basically he's turning on his tracking device, and they come and find him. And
yeah, he talks to her and explains that he feels connected and everything. They're getting ready.
And they left Quam with Soren.
Yeah. Which I was like, I guess.
Well, she would have died if they.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she couldn't go back. I don't know. I thought she would be in the show more.
I'm sure she will. I'm sure he'll be back somehow. It'll be.
Well, yeah, because there's still that whole stuff with Vishnar and like
she's the Baby Yoda. Come on.
Not. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I forgot. There's also a scene of her like watching him on the. Remember, like because we mentioned it, and then I don't think I talked about it too much with him executing people. He had the sacks over their heads and had them on their knees, and he's like executing them. And then there's like a camera, a drone, and he shoots it. And so, I mean, she's pretty hell-bent on getting revenge. Mm-hmm. Which, that's the other thing. So, like, what I thought had happened, was, from watching the first episode, I thought those aliens were there to excavate that thing, right?
They were.
Now, listen. And that they saw one of the kids, and that's why they attacked, because they didn't want anybody to know that they were there, right?
Right.
But were they planning on killing those people anyway? Because remember when she said to Master Chief last week that her mother was killed at a meeting of insurrectionists, mm-hmm. right? And a bomb threat was called in saying insurrectionists were going to bomb this meeting. And it was like, why would insurrection? So it feels like those insurrectionists were set up, right?
Right.
And then he said, our orders changed, right? Like once we got there. Because she was like, did they look like they were a threat or something like that? So I don't know. I'm wondering, were they sold out? And was it Vishnar? Because you think about it, like, I mean, I get it. It's a big fucking planet. Because it's not magical. I keep thinking like magical is just that place that was attacked in the beginning. But it's like the entire planet. But I don't know. It just feels weird. Because at the time I was thinking, well, magical is no more because he killed everybody but Quan. But clearly there are other people left. But like that guy wasn't there. Vishnar wasn't there. He was on TV saying, I'm here, like Gene Haas sent me. Because I'm assuming like he was like his next in command or something. So it just...
Yeah, I mean, it still doesn't make sense why the Spartans were on the way there. Like, it sounded like they were on their way to that planet before the aliens even attacked.
And they said something like they felt like they would have been there faster or sooner or something like that. Like, it felt like, I was like, was this supposed to be like a photo out? Or maybe, unless what?
They were tracking the Covenant, and they knew the Covenant was
I wondered if part of it was like a photo op, too. Because she said something like, what am I supposed to do with one survivor? Like, because they wanted to use this as a propaganda. Like, see, you need us. You don't need independence. You need us because look what's out there. You get what I'm saying? It feels like it might have been staged. Because she was like, what am I going to do with, like, one survivor? And I think that's when the response was something like, we got there, like, as fast as something. So it felt like it was, like, planned almost. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But anyway. So that's it. That is it. We will be back next week to talk about episode 3. There is so much good stuff coming up on the podcast, both free and premium. So if you're listening for free, obviously you're able to listen to this. And the next show that we have coming up for free is Pachinko. I'm recording for the first 3 episodes of this Apple TV Plus original with my friend Julie this Thursday. So that will be out this coming weekend. Me, John, and Donnie are also covering over on the premium side Moon Knight, the latest Marvel Disney Plus offering, as well as finishing up on the anime front, Attack on Titan, and Super Crooks, and then beginning 2 brand new anime. One yet to debut, brand new show called Spy Family. A lot of positive buzz around that, as well as Kaylee requested first season of Tiger and Bunny, which is on Netflix. And I feel like there's something else that's like good and big, and for some reason it's just like I am drawing a blank. Oh, no, maybe it was Moon Knight. I really enjoyed that. I feel really good about, yet again, I feel like when I talk about the stuff that we have to come, I feel really good about everything. Like, I like everything we're watching so far. Like, this could have been shit. Mm-hmm. Moon Knight could have sucked. But so far, so good. So far, I really like all of this. So, all right. Well, From. That's the other show. I was like, I know me and Donnie are talking about something else. I'm really excited to dive into episode 4. That's coming out this week. That is also on premium. So if you've not yet signed up, you may want to head over to patreon.com/podcastfandom and become a premium subscriber. We have 2 subscription tiers to choose from. Anything you want to add about Halo?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm super excited. When does it air this week?
Thursday, or late Wednesday nights, Thursday morning.
Is that the same as Moon Knight?
I thought, didn't they move Moon Knight to Fridays?
Did they?
Moon Knight, well, I don't know. They moved.
You're thinking about Obi-Wan.
Okay, so that comes out on Wednesdays.
Okay, so both
Halo's
of them.
Thursdays, and then Moon Knight's Wednesdays.
Oh, okay. Got it. Oh, that's right, because I watched that before you. That's right.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, all right, so we'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.